Appamada and its programs are supported by your generosity, and your generosity and support makes such a difference. You can find a link for contributions on the website at appamada.org. Thank you.
Good morning, all. Welcome to the Sunday program. Today we have a special day. Instead of having a regular Dharma talk, we're going to be celebrating the Rokusu returning ceremony for John Miller and Anne McCready. To start with, I wanted to give a history of this ceremony as it's peculiar to Appamada. It's different from anywhere else. So I'd like to talk about that, and then also just give a little talk about the steps that one goes through, what these folks have gone through to come to this point. So to start with the history, this particular ceremony of returning the Rokusu to the Sangha for people who have already taken the precepts, that was unheard of until Peg and Flint invented it. And so it's just a really amazing thing. Normally when people sew a Rokusu, they, at other places, they sew their Rokusu, they give it to their teacher and they put their name on it, the teacher puts the name on it, and they put their chop, put their signature, their stamp on it, and then they return it to the student to continue to wear. But I think that the thinking behind this on the part of both Peg and Flint was, we have a relational practice here at Appamada. So instead of just giving the Rokusu back to the student to have their Rokusu from the get-go, the idea was to allow the Sangha to wear it for a year. So what it put in place was an amazing, generous gift on the part of the student. They've just made this thing. They've been working on it for a year. It's pristine, and they've turned it over to the Sangha for the people who, as I said before, have received precepts to wear for a year. So every day you have a choice as to whose Rokusu you're going to wear. And then on the other side, so it's a generous gift on the part of the student, kind of a gift with a nudge. And on the part of the people wearing it, my experience has been a delightful thing where you pick up a Rokusu and you say, oh, this is Anne's Rokusu. Cool. And look at this. She's got this kind of lining. It gives you a clue to the personality of the person, right? What they chose to put on the inside. And then you get to see what their name is and so on and so on. So it's kind of a cool thing. And it gives you start off Zazen with thinking about someone else, thinking about them for the day. So I just love that. It's kind of it's a gift, I think, on both ends, gift or receiver, you win both ways. So, and I think that it's also interesting to consider it in terms of Peg and Flint as teachers. They're so intentional. They were particularly intentional starting this place, and all along the way as they changed different forms, there was a lot of consideration put into this. So making this change, different from everyone else, to create, to clearly represent this relational practice that we have here, that's imbued in this act of giving up this thing for a year, or letting people use it for a year, and then having an effect of building community. Just because you're wearing someone's Rokusu, you're thinking about them. So it's kind of a community build, kind of a bond. It's not through talking. It's like meditation. It's through this action of wearing someone else's. And And part of wearing it is realizing this is a brand spanking new thing. I better take care of it. No spilling coffee on this one, you know? So I think it's a delightful practice that was well thought through and just, yeah, a really nice practice. So what I also wanted to go over quickly is this ceremony, every ceremony, I believe, is an important step in the Dharma life of the Sangha member or of the Sangha. It's usually of the Sangha as a whole, but also to individuals. So in this case, the individuals are Anne and John. So I want to go through, as I said before, the steps that they've gone through to get to this point. So presumably they have arrived, they've been sitting a while, and they say, I think I'll take the precepts. So they spent 1 year studying the precepts. It was a precepts a month. We spend a month on each precept. So it's like, not just like, I'll take up the way of non-harming. Well, I don't harm anybody. Well, you have a month to think about that. And really look at it from a lot of different angles. So that's why the precepts are so wonderful. It's kind of a lived experience, you know. So the other option is you either take the precepts and then you can start sewing, or you can be in the precepts with the permission of a teacher, and then you can start sewing earlier. Okay, so that's the first step, and that's pretty much a year-long process to sew that Rokusu. It takes a long time. You're coming usually once a week for a couple of hours. Anne and John have been teaching that, and what a practice. And it's a delightful practice. You know, you think, well, at least that's what I thought, sewing. And yet sitting there in the quiet, I especially like the quiet. There's something very sweet and very special about it. So anyway, they have a year of that. And then we've said a year with the precepts. So this is a lot of time and dedication in both of those things. And we got 2 years down. And then, so the Rokusu is finished, and they turn it over to the teacher. The teacher, as I said before, writes their name on it, their Dharma name, and they do their stamp, and it's ready to go. And then basically the teacher will put it into circulation for other people who have taken the precepts to wear. That's a requirement for wearing a Rokusu, is having taken the precepts. So it's up for them to wear. So again, we have the generosity and then this connection that we have through this process. So then we come to the last step. A year has gone by. Your Rokusu, your beautiful new Rokusus have been worn by people the whole year. And it's imbued with, I think, the essence of the energy of people and them thinking about you all year round when they picked up your Rokusu. So then we come to today. And today is the day that we formally return the Rokusus to the students once more, for them they can wear it as their own. Some people put it back in circulation, but you know, a lot of people just take it to wear for their own. So it's the end of the journey with that end of the journey of that end of that journey. That's what I'm trying to say. Is today, and then you continue to wear the robe and still work with what that means. It never ends. So the finalization of this event today will be articulating once again our connection to our ancestors through our renunciation, the confirmation of the practice of the precepts, engaging in the practices of repentance, taking refuge in the 3 treasures, and living by vow. These are all the things that are incorporated in this process. So now I just want to give a brief introduction to Anne and John, just a brief bio. Anne has served as a council member on Council 4 for some 4 years. And Anne's been on council, yeah, it's been on it for 4 years. She has a lot of technological skills, and when we came into Zoom land, which was new to all of us, Anne was right there to help us figure out how to do the AV monitor. She and Kim were working at it madly, which saved us incredibly, because it was a brand new thing for everybody. Also, Anne has been active in the Sangha for a long time, and her practice has led her to doing a lot of interesting programs in other places as well. And one is she participated in a street retreat with people experiencing homelessness. And she also, by doing that, also raised money for that project with that particular Sangha. What was that Sangha?
The Sangha is the Red Loaf Mountain blanking Zen community, and through it's a Zen Peacemakers.
Zen
It's
Peacemakers.
just and we raise money for some of the organizations that serve people experiencing homelessness.
Yeah. Okay. And also Anne has taken various courses that are offered at Spirit Rock on right speech. They're based on the organization of the deal with right speech, and I can't remember, I'm blanking on what that's called, but anyway. So she's taken probably 3 courses and repeated a couple. So anyway, so Anne has been a very valuable member of our Sangha, and we're very glad to have her and to be celebrating this with her today. John has a checkered past. No. No, John came to us 9 years ago for the first time, and then he's been steadily here for the last 5+ years. So he's been here a while. He's been a member of the Flower Committee, which I personally am very happy. He's had some beautiful creations. And he's helped Anne Lipscomb. Anne Lipscomb, sitting on my side, is the sewing teacher, and has helped him, he has helped her with teaching the sewing online to the online Sangha. In fact, he has prepared a number of videos to assist them. And so that's been a great help. And unfortunately, he's decided to move. Good for him. And we wish him well, but we're going to miss him. But he'll still be helping out. He's offered to help out with the online sewing Sangha still. So that's just wonderful. We really appreciate that. So we'd like to thank both of you for all of the support you've given to our Sangha and all your activities. So with that, I'd like to start with the actual ceremony with the invocation. So let's see. We need you to come up, both of you to come up here. Are we good? Yeah, we're good. Okay, great. Okay. Invoking the presence and compassion of our ancestors, in faith that we are Buddha, we enter Buddha's way. Walking the path of the Bodhisattva is accomplished through the spirit and actuality of renunciation. All the Buddha ancestors of the Bodhisattva precept lineage have practiced and are still practicing renunciation of all attachments. To sustain and confirm the practice of the Bodhisattva precepts, for their meaning is in living them, we now remind you of your sacred vow to live abiding by the precepts. Over the course of this past year, you have undoubtedly encountered many opportunities to practice with the precepts you have taken to heart. Do you continue to uphold them as a guide for the expression of wisdom and compassion in your life?
Yes,
I do.
1 year ago, we said, you have gone beyond the karma of body, speech, and mind, and have been freed from greed, hate, and delusion. O good disciples of Buddha, now you may live in the way of the three treasures. You are seated with Buddha and are really Buddha's child. We asked, will you receive these precepts? What did you say?
Yes, I will.
Together, we chanted the verses of repentance, refuge, and vow. Remember that I said then, Peg said that, you have returned to your original nature, free from attachments and limited ways. From now, awakening is your teacher. All beings are your teacher. Do not be fooled by other ways. This is the path of mercy for all existence and things. Finally, you received the 3 pure precepts. Please repeat them one by one after me. I vow to refrain from all evil.
I vow to refrain from all evil.
I vow to do all that is good.
I vow to do all that is good.
I vow to clarify the mind for the benefit of all beings.
I vow to clarify the mind for the benefit of all beings.
And the 10 grave precepts, repeat each after me. I vow not to kill or harm that which is living.
I vow not to kill or harm that which is living.
I vow not to steal or take what is not freely given.
I vow not to steal or take what is not freely given.
I vow not to misuse sexuality or manipulate others seductively.
I vow not to misuse sexuality or manipulate others seductively.
I vow not to lie and to refrain from deception.
I vow not to lie and to refrain from deception.
I vow not to intoxicate mind or body of self or others.
I vow not to intoxicate body or mind of self or others.
I vow not to slander or allow silence to harm others.
I vow not to slander or allow silence to harm others.
I vow not to praise self at the expense of others.
I vow not to praise self at the expense of others.
I vow not to grasp what I have or be envious of what I don't.
I vow not to grasp what I have or be envious of what I don't.
I vow not to harbor anger or ill will or seek vengeance or retribution.
I vow not to harbor anger or ill will or seek vengeance or retribution.
I vow not to disparage the 3 treasures.
I vow not to disparage the 3 treasures.
We asked, abiding according to these precepts, even after great liberation, will you continuously observe them? And you responded,
Yes, I will.
So from that moment, you received Buddha's precepts and became a child of Buddha. You began really working for all beings and realizing Buddha nature as yourself. You recognize that you yourself and all beings are the Tathagata. By those acts of invocation, renunciation, confession, purification, taking refuge and receiving the precepts, you became the working basis of the Buddha way. You have become, by those actions, the ground for the arising of the mind of awakening.
Kim, would you bring me my papers?
Here, would you like this one?
I need the mine. Thank you. Over many months, you sewed a Rokusu, a form of Buddha's robe. Dogen Zenji, great Zen ancestor, revered the robe and said, "You should know that this robe is what all Buddhas respect and take refuge in. It is the Buddha body, the Buddha mind. It is called the clothing of emancipation, the robe of the field of happiness, the robe of no form, the unsurpassable robe, the robe of patience, the Tathagata's robe, the robe of great love and great compassion, the robe as victorious banner, the robe of supreme, penetrating, perfect enlightenment. You should indeed receive it with utmost respect. We should know that the robe is the body and mind of Buddha." Then he said, "I could continue talking about the merit of the robe forever, and the merit would not be exhausted. In my entire life, I could not fully express it. It is that vast and boundless. You showed great dedication and patience and devotion in sewing Buddha's robe. 1 year ago, you received it in the formal ceremony of Jukai, together with your Buddhist name and lineage papers. And then you did something almost inconceivable. You offered your Rokusu back to the Sangha so that anyone who has taken the precepts might wear it. Over the course of an entire year, many Sangha members have worn these Rokusu, and so the practice life of the whole Sangha has permeated them completely. They have been worn, embracing the sincerity and vow of each of you who sewed them. We have done our best to take good care of these precious gifts. Now we return them to you with grateful hearts and profound appreciation for the way they have deepened and enlivened the life and practice of our Sangha. Thank you for this luminous contribution to our community of practice, beloved beings who share our aspiration and vow." As I say your name, I will pass you your Rokusu. John Do Shin Miller, Way of Heart Mind. Anne So Shin McCready, Natural Heart Mind. Dear Bodhisattvas, please continue with your sincere practice and wear these Rokusu with unflagging spirits and fearless optimism as dedicated ambassadors of the Dharma. I am deeply moved by your commitment to the past. You may now put on your Rokusu, Buddha's robe.
I'd like to be the first to congratulate you both on this wonderful feat this thing you've accomplished and that you've accepted.
And I'd like to express my gratitude for your great patience and kindness in this practice that we sowed, and we were together during our first course of sewing Rokusu, and you were very kind to me, so I really appreciate
So the ceremony is complete, and now we will go to the study for cake and refreshments. Thank you.
Laurie,
Yes,
well, pardon me for speaking, but would there be a chance for people online to also offer congratulations?
absolutely. Now would be the time, I think.
I think so, before you head to
Maybe
the
we
other
hustle
room.
off with cake.
that.
Yeah, I hate to stand between you and the cake, but
That's
I
fine.
want to say congratulations and to say that I've had a chance from my viewpoint, even far away, to see the impact that first that this way of organizing the sewing of Rokusu and this beautiful new tradition of sharing the Rokusu with the community, the effect that those have had and been very moving to me. And then I've seen what Anne and John do and how they have offered themselves in the community. And so I was very moved by the line that you quoted today as part of the ceremony, Laurie, that in wearing a Rokusu, you are the living basis of the Buddha Dharma. And I really feel that. So thank you and congratulations.
Anyone else?
I'd like to say something. What also has happened is that thanks to John and Maria, a wonderful set of videotapes has been created about how to do the sewing, and this will help people in the future.
Okay. Yes,
Rosemary,
Rosemary.
Rosemary.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Anne and John. And I just wanted to say that the part of the this whole process where you gave back your Rokusus, when you received them and they gave them back to Peg, that was such a teaching for me. My jaw dropped. I could not. Seriously, it really, as you know, I'm fairly new with this practice, and it taught me a lot to release this wonderful thing you made. Yeah, and yeah, taking the precepts now and seeing the whole process and the ending of it. It's not the ending, but the conclusion of this part, and you're getting them back. It's really, really moving. So congratulations, and it's very inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosemary. Becky?
I, as a distant person, have not had the opportunity to wear your Rokusu. I'm not at a place in my practice where I would also be able to do that. But as we develop our relationships over time, because they are here amongst us all, that I know that the Zoom aspect, the cloud Sangha, will be able to imbue both the Zendo and the Rokusus as they're passed around, not because we can necessarily wear them, but we'll find a way. Because what that is in terms of Sangha and our relationships is a very powerful one. And so I just want to say, with whatever I can, as you carry it away, I'd also like to touch it now to say thank you so much and welcome totally to the work that you're to do next.
Thank you, Becky. Anyone else?
Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay, I guess we'll sign off then, and I'll eat a piece of cake for you if you want.
Each and every one of you.
I bought enough for this many people and more, but anyway. Okay, well, take good care today. Thank you for being here for this ceremony. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure our students do too, and it's always wonderful to have you all here with us. So with that, I'll bid adieu until next time.